Good to see you again. Happy Wednesday. It's the 15th day of April 2020. We're right smack dab in the middle of the week, right smack dab in the middle of the month. Yeah, although I must admit I think it was last week, I actually lost track of what day of the week it was. In the middle of the day. I think I thought it was Thursday and it was Tuesday. I was off by like 2 days, such are times now for all of us here. Good to see you. Dan Kuntz, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Lots to get to today. Got an interview. Haven't had one of those for a while. It's been really difficult to get interviews scheduled, for one thing. The movers and the shakers and the people who put on events that are the meat and potatoes of our conversation segment. The events haven't been happening, so it's been a bit of a slog, but I was able to get a hold of Erin, my friend, who does the Aging Mastery Program. She's launched that in association with Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. Dave Tosh reached out to me, who then reached out to Erin, and we all got together. And I had a chance to visit with Erin via Skype yesterday morning. You'll be able to see that interview. It's a good program, and it's free. We'll talk about that with Erin when we get to the back half of the hour. Get ready for a fairly windy but mild day today. In fact, the temperatures that you're going to see when we get to the forecast are all going to be well above normal. Once again, we need rain, and we don't have any in the forecast. We'll get to the forecast in just a little bit. Lots of news to get to, some of it COVID-19 related, some of it not. It was a busy day for the news crew yesterday. Also, we'll have sports. Eric has been able to cobble together some sports. You had a fascinating conversation with Russ Waterman, who's the athletic director for the Eastmont School District, on how they're going to honor the seniors, specifically the seniors who would have been participating deep into the spring sports season by this time, and they're not. There's no spring sports season. No boys soccer, no baseball, no girls softball, no track and field. But they got plans. Whatever they can do. Eric's conversation with Russ will be coming up during sports. Plus the obscure holiday. We have today in history some celebrity birthdays, and everybody is entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion. And he's got a lot of them. Some of them are even valid. It's 3 minutes after the hour. Let's take you around north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley with our Valley View cameras. Hello, cross camera. It's always good to see you. Look at that beautiful view. Not a cloud in the sky. Looks like Megan has the camera tilted up a little bit and pulled back a little bit. Most of the trees now are in full bloom. The oak tree in my front yard has been really taken off. With the winds that we've had the last couple of days, a lot of the blossoms on the trees have already started to blow around. My allergies have been kicking up quite a bit over the last 3 or 4 days, but I am dealing with it. Allergies are interesting. I had no allergies when I was a kid, and now I have like 3 of them. And then I have no other people who had lots of allergies when they were kids, and now they don't have any. It's strange. It's a beautiful view from the cross camera at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. Sun is up. Got up at 6:11 this morning. Sunset tonight, 7:51. That means 13 hours and 40 minutes of daylight. Yesterday's high was 73. Yeah, it was beautiful. Our normal should have been about 62, so we were well above normal. And the overnight low last night was 45, or I should say Tuesday night. That was warm too. Our normal overnight low is about 40. We're at 48 right now, by the way, here in the big city. Camera number 2, let's find out where we're off to. Well, Billy Goat, that's a no-brainer. I like that view, zoomed in a little bit. Brewster is pretty much right smack dab in the middle of your screen. As you can see, there's a few high clouds out there. By the way, you folks in the Okanagan Valley, get ready for more strong winds. Not nearly as strong as it was last Saturday, but still, you're going to be buffered around. We're talking about wind gusts 35 to 45 miles an hour up in the Okanagan Valley today. Heads up on that with sustained winds about 20 miles an hour. So it's going to be windy to the north of us as we say good morning to the Columbia from up in the Okanagan County area. Can't see Bridgeport. It's stuck behind that ridge there. Can't see Gamble Sands either. Can't play it either. I miss golf. Camera number 3. We say hello. Ooh, let's see here, Megan. I got to do a little homework here. Is that the Manson Water Tower? It's the Manson Water Tower. It's pointed in a different direction. We're not seeing the lake. It's pointing more towards Manson. I think that's pointed almost directly to the north, I would assume. I mean, trust me, Lake Chelan is there. It has not gone anywhere, but I'm thinking that's Stehekin way off in the distance in the North Cascade. So I'm thinking that's the Manson Water Tower camera, and I think Megan has it pointed almost due north. If we point it off to the south, or maybe even due west, that could even be due west for that matter. Still, whatever you want to say, it's a beautiful view from our friends up in Manson. Good to see you. Camera number, what are we at? 4? Whoa, okay. Yeah, I don't know. 2 Rivers? Wow, that was a good guess considering all I'm seeing is that. Is there a giant UFO floating over Lake Wenatchee that I don't know about? This is, Megan says that is in fact a UFO. So there we go. We're being visited by extraterrestrials from another galaxy. Well, it's about time. Anyway, that's the Two Rivers camera. As we've mentioned this before, when there's not enough light, and obviously there's not enough light yet in the Lake Wenatchee area, the cameras automatically go to chroma key, so you can get as much information as possible. Then once it gets light enough, it switches to color. That's really annoying. Sorry, Megan. It would normally be a gorgeous view, but yeah, the aliens are well. It's good to see the aliens again. That was a scary movie, Alien. Boy, I remember going to the movie Alien in the late '70s, early '80s, whatever it was, with Sigourney Weaver and Tom Skerritt. Yeah, that movie just freaked me out. It's really slow. It starts out like, is anything going to happen? And then things start happening. Aliens, the sequel, was just as scary, as a matter of fact. In space, nobody can hear you scream. It's 7 minutes after the hour. I got a slide to show for you. This is similar to the slide that we showed you yesterday from the National Weather Service. And again, breezy northerly winds are going to develop later on today. Again, as I mentioned before, speed's not as strong as we saw last Saturday, but still good enough. The winds will be picking up late morning. It'll peak early to mid-afternoon. The strongest winds, as I mentioned before, as you can see by that graphic, the Okanagan Valley will have some very strong winds. These are your gusts, not your sustained winds, just the occasional gust in the Okanagan Valley. It's going to be up there. Also the Waterville Plateau, the Columbia Basin. We're talking gusts anywhere from 35 to 40 to 45 miles an hour. And obviously, if you have exposed fields, whether they've been planted or not, you're talking about some patchy blowing dust possible in north central Washington. So it could make for some difficult driving conditions on Highway 2 once you get up to Waterville and start heading out west towards the Lilac City if you're heading up in that direction. Mansfield and Wilbur and those places, or even on the I-90 ribbon of corridor between Moses Lake and Ritzville, could get a little dicey indeed. Of course, they had that sizable pileup because of blowing dust that happened last Saturday. So heads up there. And obviously, if you're driving a high-profile rig, you're going to be buffered it around a little bit. So once again, breezy today. Not quite as windy down here in the Wenatchee Valley, but still windy enough for most people. So that's a quick look at that. Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling gives your home a hug. And from the National Weather Service, here's what we got for you. Sunshine, you want it? You got it. High of about 68, 69 today. Again, a little on the breezy side. A northwest wind about 8 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts in the Wenatchee Valley could peak occasionally at 25 miles an hour later on this afternoon. There's a frontal system that's coming in. It's not going to really amount to much. Tonight, partly cloudy. Still a little breezy, maybe I'd call that. Northwest wind about 5 to 11 miles an hour. We'll dip down to about 38 for the overnight low. We'll do it again Thursday, perhaps a little bit cooler. It's going to take us a little while to warm up on Thursday. Lots of sunshine, very little wind, high of 66. So things are looking really good for Thursday, even better on Friday. But lots of sunshine, a calm wind, high of about 72 degrees, 45 for the overnight low Friday night. A small system on Saturday. We could really use some rain. We're not going to get any. The mountains could get a little bit of rain. The Leavenworth Plain, Lake Wenatchee area could get some light rain. We're not expecting any here in the Wenatchee Valley, but it's going to be a tug of war between the clouds and the sun on Saturday, with a high of 71, but this system that's going to come in on Saturday is not going to stick around. It'll be heading right back out the door on Saturday night, 44 for the overnight low. Looking gorgeous on Sunday, sunshine, 74. Monday, 75. Tuesday, about 72 degrees, so dry and mild weather for today, although a little breezy. Dry and mild weather Thursday and Friday, some passing clouds Saturday, dry and mild, and lots of sunshine on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And again, you folks to the north of us in the Waterville Plateau, be ready for some wind. It's coming your way. It's a little breezy outside of our studios. We have a northwest wind at about 8 miles an hour and 48 degrees at 10 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break and come back with your Monday, Tuesday. I told you it's hard to keep track of the days. Your Wednesday morning news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I am a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Back at it, 11 minutes after the hour. Lots of sunshine. We are at 48 degrees. Lots of sunshine today. Breezy this morning. Windy this afternoon with the occasional gust around 25 miles an hour. Then we calm down tonight. We're in for a beautiful stretch of weather. Sunny, dry, and mild for the foreseeable future. Let's take a look at your headlines. Douglas County recorded its first COVID-19 death in the latest numbers reported by the Chelan-Douglas Health District. The man who died was a resident at Bonaventure Senior Care in East Wenatchee. He had underlying health issues, according to Bonaventure. The number of Douglas County people testing positive jumped from 16 to 29 in the latest count. Chelan County, meanwhile, has an increase of 5 cases from 55 to 60. 5 people have died from the coronavirus in Chelan County. The health district provided a breakdown of the deaths over the weekend by age. All of the fatalities, the folks were aged 80 or older. Those numbers do not include the Douglas County case, by the way. Wenatchee and East Wenatchee have the most positive cases in their respective counties, though the health district reports the virus has hit almost every area of Chelan and Douglas County. Hispanics have accounted for the most cases by ethnic breakdown, 47% of the positive cases in the 2 counties. Builders are taking advantage of a Douglas County rule that is allowing some construction, even though Governor Jay Inslee's office says it's the wrong approach during a pandemic. Douglas County commissioners are allowing work to proceed on residential projects that are already have sales agreements and permits in place. Thus, despite the governor's stay home, stay healthy order, Douglas County Administrator Jim Barker says so far 85 different commercial building projects have received county waivers to continue work. Now, the governor's office warns the county rule is based on a misinterpretation of his executive orders, which commanded a halt to commercial construction and other business deemed non-essential. Chelan County commissioners have amended their emergency order that they put out last week banning vacation rentals. The amendment clarifies language in the order, which was aimed at reducing travel and cutting the spread of COVID-19 into and from Chelan County. Among other things, the new language makes it a gross misdemeanor to violate the order. Penalties of up to $5,000 in fines and just under a year in jail. It remains, by the way, in effect until at least May 4th. Pangbourne Memorial Airport can expect some federal aid after its traffic was devastated by COVID-19. Senator Maria Cantwell made those announcements yesterday to the regional airport. Pangbourne is going to receive just over $18 million. The aid comes as part of the Federal CARES Act, designed to take the sting out of the economic troubles caused by the virus. Of course, passenger volume has collapsed at airports all over the country. Pangbourne recently reduced its traffic to and from Seattle from 3 flights a day down to just 1. Altogether, Washington airports will receive more than $310 million from the federal government. SeaTac International, not surprisingly, gets the most, $192 million. Other news this morning, an East Wenatchee man who shot and killed his mother's abusive boyfriend 11 and a half years ago is free. He pled guilty to the crime on Monday. Christopher Martin Owens has been in either jail or in prison ever since the 2008 killing of Rick Tyler. His first trial ended in a hung jury. His second trial was overturned on appeal. Owens was scheduled for a third trial this June, but instead he agreed to plead guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for release with credit for time served. He's likely to face no more prison time when Douglas County Judge Brian Huber will sentence him. It'll happen in a couple of months. Owens admitted killing the 47-year-old Tyler, who had physically abused Owens' mother and came to her home that night in spite of a restraining order. Owens said he shot Tyler twice to defend her. The Alpenhof fire burning just south of Leavenworth is now fully contained. It reached about 14 acres in size, burning in steep terrain along Icicle Road. The fire broke out Sunday afternoon near residential homes on Wedge View Drive. It was first driven by gusty winds, but then slowed down as hand crews and helicopters worked to build a perimeter. No structures were lost, no injuries were reported, and again, it's reported at 100% containment yesterday afternoon. Gas prices are approaching $2 a gallon in the Wenatchee Valley at a number of gas stations as prices at the pump continue to plunge throughout the nation. It's a combination of record low oil prices and the fact that people aren't driving anywhere. Dramatic drops in travel because of the stay home, stay healthy order during the COVID-19 pandemic. Gas is selling for less than $1 a gallon in a number of states. GasBuddy.com, they chart prices throughout the country. They're reporting the cheapest gas in our state is being sold in Central Washington. 3 stations in Cle Elum are selling gas at just $1.25 a gallon. There are a couple of stations in Quincy, one at $1.33 a gallon and the other at $1.35 a gallon. Prices in the Wenatchee area have been about $2.80 a gallon just a month ago. And aside from social distancing, there's a different curve you can help bend. Right now, North Central Washington is far behind the rest of the state and the rest of the country in filling out and answering the U.S. Census. 53% of Washingtonians and almost 48% of all Americans have responded to the 10-year population count. Only about 40% of the people in Chelan County have done so, 43% in Douglas County, and 36% in Grant County. But check this out, Okanagan County, the most unresponsive county in Washington state. Just under 23% of Okanagan County residents have filled out their census form. You got just over a month to voluntarily self-respond to the census. Online is 2020census.gov, or you can call a toll-free number, or you can get a paper questionnaire. By the way, I will be having a conversation with Jeff Enos, who's the head of census operations for the West Coast, and we will have that conversation on this program on Friday morning. And that's a look at what's making news at just about 18 minutes after the hour. The news crew, some working at home, some working here, trying to do our very best to practice social distancing, are still cobbling together a newscast. And with a preview of what you can expect tonight, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll have the latest numbers and the latest local news regarding COVID-19. I'll have your complete North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will continue social distancing from home with a look at sports. That and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you. I appreciate it, Grant. You want to be a part of the news team? Well, you don't get paid, but we appreciate it. If you have a news tip or you just want to drop us a line and say hi, whatever the case may be, we try and make it as easy as possible for you. Just go to the World Wide Web, which I am on record as saying this is going to be big, this whole internet thing. Keep an eye on it. You can go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and fill out the Contact Us icon there. You can go to our Facebook page and use Facebook Messenger to drop us a line, or you can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. We're going to take a break and come back. We'll have sports. We'll have the obscure holiday. I got today in history, some celebrity birthdays to pass along to you. Everyone is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. And my conversation with my friend Erin Cass. Good to see Erin again. I'll have it coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hello everybody, I'm Washington State Patrol Trooper and Public Information Officer John Bryant. We want you to stay home, stay healthy, stay safe. Obviously, there's decreased traffic on Interstate 90 and all our state routes. Despite the reduction in traffic, there are probably many drivers who should not be on the road unless they are following the guidelines for essential trips or essential work. You should know what they are at this point. We are still stopping cars for traffic violations, especially excessive speed, aggressive, or distracted driving. You may be ticketed or cited criminally. We will not ask if this is essential travel, and there are no checkpoints. Please cooperate with the stay-at-home orders unless essential. Staying home is the best way to protect each other from the coronavirus. Together we can get through this pandemic. So please, stay home, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
back at 20 minutes after the hour. Still sitting pretty at 48 degrees. We'll be in the upper 60s to maybe 70 today. Lots of sunshine, a little wind this morning, quite a bit of wind this afternoon, but nothing but sunshine with the exception of Saturday. Kind of a cloudy, sunny mix, but outside of that, we're in for a beautiful stretch of weather. Let's talk about sports. Officials with the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval have announced that the Leonard Evans 150 for the Northwest Super Late Model Series, along with supporting classes, originally scheduled for April 25th. The first weekend of Apple Blossom has been postponed. They had a discussion with the NWSLMS officials. The hope now is to have the Wenatchee 200 scheduled for May 23rd. It'll be a sanctioned points race, and it'll be named the Wenatchee 200, presented by Leonard Evans. I hope they can pull this off. WVSO will continue monitoring the situation with the hope of starting the race in mid-May. All practices, unfortunately, have been canceled until at least May 5th. If you're a fan or a driver, well, you can monitor the latest developments by going to the WVSO website, WVSO.com. And yeah, it's been a challenging time for all of us. High school seniors, especially those who participate in spring sports, their world has been turned upside down. They were ready for an exciting spring sports competition. It's all been wiped out. Eastmont High School is doing all it can to help those seniors distance learn and prepare to graduate. In addition, the AD, Athletic Director Russ Waterman, had a chance to talk to our very own Eric Granstrom. They had a Zoom video conference, and Russ says he's trying to do everything that they're trying to do to recognize those senior athletes that had their spring sports season wiped out.
So my heart breaks for him. It really does. I get emotional when we talk about that, and so we're trying our best to honor them. And a couple of things that we've worked on last week and this week to we wanted to do it right. We wanted to go step by step. We didn't want to just do something that was, maybe not well thought out or half baked and not good. But we're going to join in this Friday on April 17th as the national. Or not the national, but the state Be the Light program. That's where we turn on the stadium lights at 8:20, which is 2020 military time, and we'll leave them on for 20 minutes. And we're going to place the senior banners that we do every year for our senior athletes. We're going to put them on the fence line, and we're just going to have a little bit of an honor there that they're not there competing. Soccer's not competing, track's not competing in that stadium. We don't have baseball on Dan White. We don't have softball at the fourplex. We don't have tennis on the tennis courts. In golf, we just don't have it. So this is our small way for 20 minutes to recognize them. And in addition to that, we're going to do a senior spotlight. So we'll be, putting a social media blitz out with each of our seniors, kind of a survey, kind of questionnaire of what they answered about their experience at Eastmont, plus little coaches' comments about them. Because the one thing they don't get also is that senior night. Right. That event right at the end. You've been at many of them, Eric, when you've broadcasted it. It's an emotional event for those families. There's a lot of dedication, sacrifice, and time that parents and family have given into their kids to be able to participate in athletics. And so it's just our little way of trying to say some sense of normalcy, some sense of honor to them. And one thing that is important, I think, about the Be the Light. We're going to do that over the course of 6 weeks. We're going to do one team.
Tune in tomorrow. We'll have more with Eric Granstrom and his interview with Russ Waterman about all the work happening behind the scenes and what the plans are for the 2020-2021 academic school year and athletics at Eastmont High School. Looking forward to that. Welcome back, Mike Iupati. He's back for the Seattle Seahawks, the offensive guard. They re-signed Mike. That's good news. The 11-year former first-round pick out of Idaho agreed to a one-year deal. He's going to stay in Seattle. The Seahawks picked him up from the Arizona Cardinals a season ago. Iupati is going to be 33 on May 12th. He made 15 starts in the regular season, but he missed both of the Seahawks playoff games, had a bum neck. With Iupati returning to Seattle, the Seahawks have 11 remaining unrestricted free agents. Defensive ends Javadian Clowney and Ziggy Ansah, linebackers Michael Kendricks and Dakota Watson, cornerback Akeem King, running backs Marshawn Lynch, Robert Turbin, and C.J. Procise, wide receivers Josh Gordon and Jerome Brown, and quarterback Geno Smith. At the conclusion of the Seahawks season, Russell Wilson and his wife, Ciara, announced on Twitter that they were expecting a baby, their second child together, and now they've gone back to social media for the gender reveal. It took place Tuesday at their home in San Diego.
All right, so what do you guys want it to be?
I want to be a boy.
What do you want to be?
You
want a
girl?
Okay.
Well,
What would you want it to be? You know what I want it to be. What you want it to be. Plus,
whatever God has for us. All right, here we go. You guys.
3, 2, 1.
Look, what color is it? Blue.
It's a boy.
It's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy. Boy. It's a boy.
I think it's a boy. Wilson and Sierra have a daughter, Sienna. She was born during the draft weekend 3 years ago. And of course, Wilson is the stepfather to Sierra's son, and now their family will be 5. With the addition of the boy. Congratulations to the Wilsons. And those are just some of the games that people aren't playing. On this Wednesday at 26 minutes after the hour, I had 4 obscure holidays to choose from. Now remember, these are obscure holidays. Today is National Titanic Remembrance Day. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Today is National Take a Wild Guess Day. Today is National Glazed Spiral Ham Day. You think that would have been maybe around Easter, but whatever. Nope, not going to do any of those. We're going to do National Rubber Eraser Day. Yeah, it's always held on April 15th, probably because it's normally tax day as well. It commemorates the date with the invention of, well, you made an error with a pencil, you could get rid of it if you wanted to. April 15th, 1770, Joseph Priestley founded a vegetable gum to remove pencil marks. He dubbed the substance rubber, although it wasn't rubber as we know it today. In 1770, they developed the first marketed rubber eraser. In 1839, of course, Charles Goodyear with vulcanization. That's when he became a Vulcan. That made rubber erasers standard. And the guy who really deserves a lot of credit is Hyman Lipman of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Back in 1858, figured out the idea that you could put an eraser at the end of a pencil. He patented that and made a lot of money. We all make mistakes while holding a pencil. I do a lot of public address work, and when I do, I always use a pencil with an eraser on it because it's just, I don't want to say anything that is written down and crossed out. Thank goodness for the eraser. I'm a pencil guy, for the most part. I'm a very strange person, is really what I am. Today in history, we talked about this yesterday. It was on April 14th that Lincoln was shot. It was on April 15th that Lincoln died. The headlines from the New York Times from April 15th, 1865, 155 years ago, President Lincoln died after being shot the previous evening by John Wilkes Booth. Vice President Andrew Johnson became president upon Lincoln's death. Didn't really know a great deal about Andrew Johnson, but I just finished the fascinating biography by on Ulysses S. Grant that came out a couple of years ago. I'm sorry, I can't remember the author. It's a fantastic book, won a bunch of awards, and it wasn't until I read this biography of Ulysses S. Grant that I realized what a lousy president Andrew Johnson was. I mean, I always knew he was bad, but he was really bad. He got the gig. Abe became a martyr. Happened on this date 155 years ago. April 15th, 1912. Once again, it's one of those things and events in history that happened twice over because the Titanic hit the iceberg at 11:30 the night before, but it finally went to the bottom of the Atlantic at 2:20 in the morning the next day, which was today, April 15th, 1912. The Titanic, after 2 hours and 40 minutes after hitting the iceberg, went down. The number of casualties of the sinking will never actually be known because of any number of factors. There are different manifests. The White Star Line had a manifest on who and what was on board. They had that in Southampton. There was another manifest in New York. There was a manifest on board that went down with the ship. There were people who canceled their trip at the last minute, but they were still on the manifest. There were people who snuck on board. There were people who traveled under aliases for various reasons and were double counted. So nobody really knows how many people actually died in the sinking of the Titanic. The most accurate guess of the 2,227 passengers and crew on board, about 710 survived. But again, nobody knows. Titanic went down in the state 108 years ago today. And today is Jackie Robinson Day, but we can't celebrate it in baseball because there's no baseball. This is the day that everybody is supposed to be wearing number 42. Jackie Robinson broke the color line, and the national pastime became the national pastime, April 15th, 1947. Scored the winning run, went 0 for 3, but he scored the winning run. Jackie Robinson debuts for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Baseball's color line erased. The legend himself. Hard to believe it's been that long ago. Hard to believe it took him that long. That's just me. Bottom of the hour, birthdays. There, let's see what, there's Larry. Yeah, Leonardo Da Vinci, born in this date in 1452. Dabbled in a few things. He invented some stuff. He liked to draw. I believe he painted, if I'm not correctly. He did some sculpting, designed some stuff. He was into architecture, old Larry was. Was a scientist. He was a musician. He was a mathematician. He was an engineer. Dabbled in literature, anatomy, geology, astronomy, botany. Did a lot of writing, a little cartography too, a little map making. Yeah, he did all right. Leonardo da Vinci, probably one of the most famous Italians ever. Born in the state in 1452, died at the age of 67, which is a long time to live, back in the 15th century. And we miss Roy Clark. And most people, contemporary, Roy Clark, hee-haw, right? No, he was a television personality, but he was just a fantastic guitarist. If it was stringed and you wore it around your neck and your shoulder, he could play it about as good as anybody. I'm talking guitar, I'm talking banjo, I'm talking ukulele, I'm talking dobro. It doesn't really matter what it is. One of the greatest musicians ever, regardless of genre. He's in the Country Music Hall of Fame. We lost Roy Clark, of course, a couple of years ago, but the music lives on. Roy Clark, born in this state in 1933. Thank God and Greyhound, you're gone. That's a classic song. 32 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. Going to come back with opinion from Mike McNaughty, then my conversation via Skype with Erin Cass talking about the Aging Mastery Program. It's a good conversation. You don't want to miss it. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCAA channel.
Stu Freed here from Confluence Health. You know, we're fortunate not to have thousands of new coronavirus cases here each day. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to keep it that way. If you're not following stay at home and stay safe mandates, wake up. This is the only way to protect our community. Our healthcare workers' safety and well-being are in your hands. These men and women are on the front lines and need your help. We don't have a vaccine. There is no medicine. All we have is each other.
The Meat Shop in Chelan has all the meats, homemade side dishes, sauces, and rubs you need. And after a brief break for a new baby, the Meat Shop will return to regular hours in beautiful downtown Chelan. Deepwater Home Electronics is open on modified hours to serve our community. Verizon phone services, computer repair, installations, and service calls help you stay connected while you are social distancing. Chelan Cellars and Sorrento's Restaurante look forward to seeing you after they're able to open up again. In the meantime, you can share in their award-winning wines by visiting or giving them a call.
You know you want them. Such great brands, beautiful colors, handbags, jewelry, but Collins is closed for now. Here's a good idea. Buy a gift card from Collins and receive a gift card for yourself. Buy a $100 card, get a $20 bonus card. You get it. Birthdays, friends, cooped up in the house days. It's hard to go without our Collins Fix, but buying a gift card will support this great business, and you have a shopping trip to look forward to. Collins Fashions, waiting for the day to reopen in downtown Wenatchee.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, in grade school, I was taught that George Washington never told a lie. Really? Never? I mean, come on. And then I was taught that Christopher Columbus discovered America. Well, no, he didn't, okay? Eric the Red probably got here 500 years earlier, and it wasn't even North America where Christopher Columbus landed, okay? And here's another good one. Native Americans and Pilgrims ate turkey on the first Thanksgiving. I don't think so. Who makes up this stuff, and why did they cram it down my throat when I was too young to challenge them? And you want to know what else? Another huge lie that I was told? I have searched numerous people-seeking sites. I have used many search engines, and I've looked all over the internet, and I can't even find one person named John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, let alone two. Now, I say it's time to promote honesty in education. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
You probably won't launch hurricane-force projectiles at your truck bed.
Watch me! Watch me! I got it! Watch me! I got it! Hey!
But it's nice to know you can. Introducing Carbon Pro. If it can handle a hurricane, it can handle you. Only on the GMC Sierra.
And I'm super bad.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 6th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the doghouse?
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills. A chill is in the air and it's a perfect time for some old-fashioned comfort food like our amazing Eggs Benedict, chicken fried steak, French dips, soups made from scratch, or fruit pies fresh from the oven. The crowds might be gone, but we're still here for you folks. So bring an appetite and a friend to Blueberry Hills in Manson, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 8 to 3. wildaboutberries.com.
Wenatchee Valley, obviously, we've been practicing safe social distancing here, and that includes safe TV. No more interviews in our studios, but the interviews continue after a brief hiatus. My guest today is no stranger to the program. Erin Cass has been with us in any number of roles. Erin has a new gig going on, and just a little background on this. I want to let you know how this whole thing came together. Dave Tosh, the executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, reached out to me late last week. He said Erin is working on this deal with our senior center. It's called the Aging Mastery Program, and since she is much better looking than I am, there's no question on who should be in your program. Now, to make things perfectly fair, Dave is for his advanced age, Dave Tosh is a very attractive guy, but I think he's right. So, hi, Erin, how are you?
Good morning. How are you, Dad?
I'm doing well. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the Aging Mastery Program, how are you and Shane and the kids working out with this whole social distancing quarantine thing?
Well, we're finding our groove. It's helpful when the kids can do online, Google Classrooms and Google Chat. That's been immensely helpful. And the teachers in the school district, they've been amazing. So we're doing okay. We take a lot of hikes and walks with the dogs. And I'm able to still communicate with people within my client base. So, and Shane's doing well. He's selling lots of apples right now.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. Last time, of course, you and I have a long history back in your days with Wellness Place. You've moved on. You have a new business. And that business is kind of dovetailed into the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. Give me what the Aging Mastery Program is essentially all about, the nuts and bolts, Erin.
Well, it's an evidence-based program by the National Council on Aging. So that in itself brings a ton of credibility. It's a well-thought-out program. And what it is, it's, through the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, they had a federal grant to bring this program to our valley, which is amazing. So Daryl Dickinson and I put on the very first Aging Mastery program it seems forever ago, in February, where we had it at Springwater Insurance, so thank you, Jim Heinlein. And we had 20 people enrolled in this, and what we did, it's curriculum-based, but we brought in expert speakers in our community. We knew much better than to tout and speak for ourselves about topics such as financial planning, advanced directives, there's sleep. We talked about pharmaceuticals and exercising drinking water, all these different topics that encompass aging well. And so we brought in area speakers, expert speakers who talked to a group of 20. We had homework assignments. And so that's, in a nutshell, what Aging Mastery Program is. So it was wildly successful. We had a wait list after 2 days. So I'm sensing that we should have another one after things lift and we are able to socialize and be together again.
What's been the feedback from your clients, the people who have participated in the program so far across the board with everything that you talked about? Do they get it? Do they like it?
Yes, we did an evaluation after the 10 sessions we had together, and everyone loved it. We had a 90% graduation rate, which indicates to us that people enjoyed the classes. The speakers were phenomenal. I can go on and on about who joined us, but we're going to have another one. They're free, and they come with a curriculum and a core curriculum and an exercise video and all these other things that you can take home with you and work on it in the privacy of your own home or share with others. So yes, we'll do it again. We're going to do 2 more live sessions before November of 2021. So I will make sure that you know about it.
Yeah, please do. Please do. You mentioned exercise. This is one of the things that you've been involved in, keeping people as they age healthy, keeping their balance, not falling down, and stuff like that. So my guess is for you that was pretty easy, but maybe some of the other more intricate details of the program, like finances and stuff like that, that was probably a bit of a challenge for you, Erin, personally, I'm guessing here.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I could certainly bring the expert speakers to the forefront to talk about it. People were very engaged. They had tons of questions because it is applicable to their own lives. And it's healthy to talk about things such as falling, such as financial fitness. These things are often not talked about, and I think it's really reassuring being in a group of other people that are going through the same thing. And what we found were people were very forthcoming with questions and were very vulnerable, and I think that's very healthy. The group became close, they were gelled, and I'm sure that they're missing each other right now, but I can only imagine that they'll continue to be friends and maybe exercise together in the future, have coffee talks.
Yeah, and hey, having a larger social group is always good for you.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
Yeah. So there are people out there who probably are hearing about this for the first time. They say, I'm in. What do I do? Once we get past this whole COVID-19 thing and life can resume to normal, so to speak, what do they do? How do they get involved?
I would recommend calling Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, connect with Dave Tosh, the director, and he'll put you in touch, or you can connect to me directly. My intention is to have a part-time office space at the Senior Activity Center when things move along. It'll be on the side suite C. You know the center very well. And people can always contact me. I'm looking to schedule another one for summer. It will likely be at the Senior Activity Center, which they're very generous in opening up room space for us. So,
we mentioned finances. I would be remiss, Erin, if I didn't ask you, what does it cost?
Oh, well, it's free right now, and you can't beat that. It's a federal grant for the National Council on Aging. So with that, our goal is to get it out to so many people. And we also have an Aging Mastery Starter Kit, too, so we can maybe talk a bit more about that.
A starter kit? What is that?
Well, since you asked, the Starter Kit is a self-paced kit designed to encourage older adults to take small steps to improve their health and quality of life. And so what that is, it's really a playbook, it's a DVD, activity cards, and a weekly check-in notepad. It's worth $30. And so we get these through the National Council on Aging. So my goal, as a representative of the Senior Activity Center, is to get these starter kits in the hands of people who need it most. Obviously, we have some time on our hands. A few people are isolated. And these starter kits are really a great way that you can share with someone in your household or work on by yourself. It covers all the different topics like mindfulness, health and well-being, finances and future planning, learning and creativity, connections and community, legacy and purpose. And you don't need a computer to work through this starter kit materials. So I think it's a great deal, and I'd be happy to get this to your listeners and your viewers for free.
Okay, how do we go about doing that, Erin?
You can contact me. My phone number is 509-393-9113, or my email is sailwithmeec@gmail.com. Say that again, sailwithmeec@gmail.com. And I will get this kit to you. I have a bunch coming to my home. I'm happy to safely deliver it to you, or I can walk you through the steps of signing up online, and it will be mailed directly to your home.
Oh, good. Yeah. Erin, it looks like the self-quarantine hasn't changed you much. You're still a ray of sunshine, so.
I enjoy what I do. I work closely with Department of Health to deliver evidence-based programs like SAIL, Stay Active and Independent for Life, and another program called A Matter of Balance, which I'm looking to, continue working on as things move along. But, we're in a bit of a holding pattern right now, as we all are. But I look forward to bringing all these programs to you and to this community, which I care so much about.
And for my viewers out there, if you missed that information that Erin gave you at the end of it, her cell phone and her email address, we'll make sure we get that to any of our viewers. You can get a hold of me directly, and we'll get the word out. Erin, it's always great to see you. Say hi to Shane and the kids for me.
And my dog.
And the dog, yes. And hopefully we'll get to see you in person soon, okay?
I hope so, Dan. Thank you. I called you Dave.
Yeah, you can call me Dave. You can call me Dave if you want. And Dave has to call me Dan that way. Erin, take care. It's good to talk to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he's here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point. It's a nice kokanee.
Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life Channel. Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
This is Caitlin Hedershe, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
The Siren Song Winery and Restaurant is open daily with a variety of fresh food and wine options for curbside pickup and delivery. Order by phone or online at 888-4657 or at sirensongwines.com. Tipsy Canyon Winery remains open for wine sales and wine club pickup 7 days a week. See for yourself the most talked about view in the valley and pick up your favorite vintage to take home today. Succession Wines is in full production and open for wine sales Tuesday through Saturday from noon until 4. Check out the latest releases and get wine club information today. See why Succession is the one to watch. And we are back. About 10 minutes left to go on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's the 15th day of April.
2020. I'm Dan Kuntz. We're going to take one more look at that very nice, very sunny, very mild, but kind of windy forecast here in just a couple of minutes. But first, we wanted to take one more quick look at what's making headlines, including this sobering news that Douglas County recorded its first COVID-19 death. The latest numbers are out now from the Chelan Douglas Health District. The man who died was a resident at Bonaventure Senior Care in East Wenatchee, and according to Bonaventure, he had underlying health issues. The number of Douglas County people testing positive jumped from 16 to 29 in the latest count. Chelan County, meanwhile, had an increase of 5 deaths. They went from 5 cases, I should say, from 55 cases to 60 cases in Chelan County. 5 people have died from the coronavirus in Chelan County. The health district provided a breakdown of the deaths by age over the weekend. All of the fatalities aged 80 or older. Those numbers do not include, by the way, the Douglas County case I just talked about. Wenatchee and East Wenatchee have the most positive cases in their respective counties, although the health district reports that the virus has hit almost every area of Chelan and Douglas County. Hispanics have accounted for the most cases by ethnic breakdown, 47% of the positive cases in the 2 counties. Builders are taking advantage of a Douglas County rule that allows home construction, even though Governor Jay Inslee's office says it's the wrong approach during a pandemic. Douglas County commissioners are allowing work to proceed on residential projects that already had sales agreements and permits in place. This despite the governor's stay home, stay healthy order. Douglas County Administrator Jim Barker says so far 85 different commercial building projects have received county waivers to continue work. Now, the governor's office warns the county rule is based on a misinterpretation of his executive orders, which commanded a halt to commercial construction and other businesses deemed non-essential. On the west side of the river, Chelan County commissioners have amended the emergency order that they put out last week banning vacation rentals. The amendment clarifies language in the order, which was aimed at reducing travel and cutting the spread of COVID-19 into and out of Chelan County. Among other things, the new language makes it a gross misdemeanor to violate the order, with penalties of up to $5,000 in fines and just under a year in jail. It remains in effect, by the way, until at least May 4th. That's a quick look at what's making headlines. Of course, we'll have news in its entirety tonight with Grant Olson in the anchor chair and Eric Grandstrom handling sports remotely. We'll have that for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. It's must-view viewing if you want to keep in the loop on what's making news in North Central Washington. We're going to take a break and wrap up this program with your weather forecast. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Since 1932, Camp Seneca, nestled on the beautiful shores of Lake Wenatchee, has provided children grades 1 through 12 with the ideal location for kids to learn new skills, have fun, and make friends while creating memories that will last a lifetime. Camp Seneca's rustic log cabins and their staff serve to provide each group a unique summer camp experience. Register for Camp Seneca today, www.campfirencw.org.
Aging and Adult Care offers many in-home care options and services for seniors and family caregivers. But did you know they also offer free in-home delivered meals? Aging and Adult Care has expanded its program for home-delivered meals to help elderly and vulnerable adults at this challenging time. If you are in need of prepared meals or know someone who could benefit, call Aging and Adult Care for more information about free home-delivered meals. Call 509-886-0700.
And we are back at 54 minutes after the hour here from Studio 17 in downtown Wenatchee. Let's take a look at your weather forecast. We'll start out with the slide that we showed you that the National Weather Service sent down. This is kind of an update on what they were predicting yesterday. As I mentioned before, some breezy northerly winds. It's going to blow right from the north right down to the south here. Is going to develop later on today. Speeds not as strong as we had last Saturday. They had some very high gusts last Saturday in the Okanagan Valley and all the way up into that area. So the winds will start picking up late morning. It'll peak early to mid-afternoon. The strongest winds likely in the Okanagan Valley, also the Waterville Plateau and the Columbia Basin. As you can see there, you can see the direction of the wind and the gusts that are forecast. And once again, we can't stress this enough. These are wind gusts, not necessarily sustained winds, although sustained winds, especially to the north of us, are going to be pretty good. Now, out of the Columbia Basin, we're talking gusts, and up in the Okanagan Valley, gusts of 35 to 45 miles an hour. So here we go again. Yeah, there is a distinct possibility of some patchy blowing dust in those exposed fields in the Columbia Basin. We've mentioned this before. There is simply no moisture and has been no moisture. We're in a drought right now, and without any moisture, that the rain comes down and at least weeds and any kind of natural vegetation can grow and the roots can get going and they can establish themselves, and it keeps the dust and the dirt and the soil close to the earth. But when you don't have those conditions, that dust can pick up and really get going and make visibility very difficult along US 2 in the northern part and right along the I-90 corridor between, say, Moses Lake to Ritzville. You got to watch out for blowing dust. And obviously, if you drive a high-profile rig this afternoon, you could get moved around quite a bit. So, yep, going to be breezy today, again, especially to the north of us as that frontal system begins to move in. So let's look at it in detail, shall we, from the National Weather Service. Again, gusty winds across pretty much all of the end of the northwest today. Outside of that, we're going to have quite a bit of sunshine. We'll top off at maybe 68, 69. I think we might get warmer than that because as I look at our current conditions, we have 50 degrees, so it's very mild outside the Wenatchee Valley. So we may get past the 73 that we got to yesterday. But still, that's what they're predicting, right around 69 or 70. Lots of sunshine. Now, as far as winds are concerned, it's going to be a little breezy, a northwest wind today, about 8 to 15 miles an hour. Later on this afternoon, the wind will be pretty consistent, again, out of the north or northwest at about 15 miles an hour. But we're going to see those gusts occasionally as high as 20 to 25 miles an hour, and that's here down on the valley floor. Obviously, as I mentioned before, the Columbia Basin, the Waterville Plateau, Wenatchee Heights, those areas that are already prone to wind events, you're going to have stronger winds today. Tonight, partly cloudy, still a little breezy at times. Northwest wind about 5 to 11 miles an hour. We'll get down to about 38 degrees, the National Weather Service tells us tonight. Thursday, sunshine, maybe a little bit cooler, around 66 degrees. Little wind left over, not much. Northwest wind about 5 to 8 miles an hour on Thursday. Not really expecting no wind at all. By Thursday night, we'll clear out again. We'll get down to about 39 for the overnight low. Friday, how about sunshine and 72 degrees and very little wind at all in the forecast? What we really need is rain. We were hoping maybe for a couple of stray raindrops on Saturday. Maybe a small chance of some light rain to the mountains around north central Washington on Saturday. But here in the Wenatchee Valley, it's going to be back and forth between clouds and sun on Saturday. No wind. Just partly cloudy and a high of 71 degrees. We really need the rain, and it ain't coming. 44 for the overnight low on Saturday night, and then we're in for another long stretch of dry and mild weather. It's going to be the rule of thumb for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with an afternoon high of 74 on Sunday, 75 on Monday, 72 on Tuesday. I'm a patient man by definition. Pretty low key, but I got to tell you, this weather and the fact that I can't go out and play golf is starting to wear on my psyche just a little bit. Anyway, I'm hanging in there. I hope you are too. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show. You're going to really like tomorrow's show. I had a chance to Skype yesterday with Casey Lee. Casey Lee is a retired law professor from Hawaii. She moved back here to the Wenatchee Valley about 5 years ago to be closer to her family. She came up with a really cool idea. It's called the Share a Meal program. The idea is to help restaurants in our community stay open by making meals, but the meals are going to be distributed to homeless and those who are homebound, and she's gotten 5 or 6 restaurants to participate in this Share a Meal program. And how this came to be and how you can help is going to be the conversation, is going to be the topic of conversation I'm going to have with Casey Lee via Skype. You'll be able to see that tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. And then on Friday, I'll be talking to Jeff Enos of the United States Department of Commerce. It's the Department of Commerce, by the way, that conducts the census. And we'll be talking about why here in north central Washington we seem to be a little behind the curve, if you will, on filling out our census forms. I mean, it's not that hard to do. I did mine. It took about 5 minutes to do it online. But here in north central Washington, we're not quite doing our census part, especially up in the Okanagan Valley. We'll talk about that. We'll talk census on Friday. Everybody have a good and safe Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.